Do you feel it? That quiet pull in the depths of your being, the sense that you are different, that you were meant for something more? Maybe you've always known since childhood, since your earliest memories, that the world around you doesn't see what you see. Others move through life half asleep, consumed by routine, unaware of the deeper current beneath it all. But you've always felt it. A whisper in the back of your mind, a force nudging you forward, an unshakable feeling that you are here for a reason. There have been moments, haven't there? Times when reality cracked open just enough for you to glimpse something beyond. Maybe it was a synchronicity too perfect to be chance, a dream that felt more real than waking life, an intuition so strong it could not be ignored. Signs seem to follow you, as if the universe itself is trying to tell you something, as if you are being guided toward an unseen path. And yet, no one else seems to notice. They walk past the signs as if they aren't there. They dismiss the things you feel, the things you know, but you can't ignore it. There is something inside you, something ancient, something waiting to awaken fully. You sense it in the way the world shifts around you, in the way certain knowledge comes unbidden, as if you're remembering rather than learning. You feel chosen, and maybe you are. And then one day, you stumble across it. A phrase, a concept, a truth hidden in plain sight. The chosen ones. It stops you cold. Your heart beats faster. Every strange feeling you've had, every moment of knowing without explanation, every instance of feeling set apart, it all clicks into place. This is it. This is why you felt different your entire life. You weren't imagining it. You weren't crazy. You were chosen. You dive deeper, searching, reading, consuming everything you can. The signs, the synchronicities, the ancient prophecies, the whispers of destiny, they all align with what you felt for so long. Others have felt it too. People out there understand what you're going through. They talk about awakening, about a mission, about a calling greater than this ordinary, mindless world. And then there's the ringing. You've noticed it before, haven't you? That high-pitched tone in your ears that comes and goes, sometimes faint, sometimes overwhelming. You used to dismiss it as nothing, but now you see people talking about it, saying it's a sign, a frequency shift, a message trying to break through. And it makes sense, doesn't it? It happens when you're deep in thought, when you're on the verge of some new realization, when something unseen is shifting within you. It's like a signal, a reminder that you're connected to something greater, that the awakening is real. But something else is watching, something that has always been there, just beneath the surface. It doesn't speak in words. It moves in doubt, in hesitation, in the quiet resistance that keeps you from stepping fully into what you know is true. It lingers in the spaces between your thoughts, planting questions that weren't there before. What if this is just a coincidence? What if you're wrong? And when that doesn't work, it shifts its approach. Of course you're chosen. Of course you're different. That makes you important. It doesn't care what you believe, as long as it keeps you circling, keeps you grasping, keeps you looking outward instead of seeing what has always been right in front of you. Because the more you stagnate in the ideology of the chosen one, the more you remain in the same place, waiting, believing you have already achieved what you set out to do, believing that the answers will come to you because you deserve them. You thought you were climbing the mountain, but you built a home at its base, mistaking the feeling of knowing for the experience of becoming. And then the thought arises, the one you didn't expect. Who is telling you this? You freeze, because the moment the question forms, something shifts. The voice doesn't answer right away. And for the first time, you wonder, has it ever been you speaking? And then you feel it, a presence not outside of you, but woven into your very being. A shadow just behind your thoughts, shaping them, guiding them. It knows you intimately, your fears, your desires, the things you crave to be true. It knows exactly what to say to keep you comfortable, to keep you still. It has worn your face, spoken with your voice, moved with your gestures. It has lived inside you for so long that you never even thought to question it. It is the ego, the imposter that convinced you that you had already arrived. The voice that told you that you were chosen, special, set apart, not to free you, but to trap you in that very belief. It did not want you to seek, to question, to step beyond it. It wanted you to think you already had, because as long as you believe you have already awakened, you will never wake up. You see it now. You feel it. The way it tightens its grip the moment you start to look past it. The way it tries to pull you back into certainty, into comfort, into the same endless loop of almost awakening, but never quite stepping through. And now the real question arises, will you let it go? Because the moment you do, it will fight. It will tell you that without it, you are nothing. That if you let go, you will disappear. And in a way, it's right. Because the one who believed they were chosen, the one who waited for destiny, the one who mistook the illusion for the path, that version of you must die. Only then will you see the truth. Not that you were chosen, but that there was never anyone to choose. And now you understand. It was never about you. It was never about being chosen. It was never about rising above. That was the trap, the final, most deceptive layer of the illusion. Because we are all chosen. Some just don't know it yet. You see it now, don't you? The truth that was always there, waiting for you to remember. That this path was never meant to be walked alone. That awakening is not a personal achievement, but a shared evolution. That the highest realization is not to stand apart, but to return to the whole. We are not separate beings struggling in isolation. We are one mind, one consciousness, one great unfolding. And now that you are free, you have a responsibility. Not to teach, not to preach, not to convince, but to guide, to nurture, to hold space for those still searching. Because they are not lost, only asleep. And just as you once searched for answers, so do they. Just as you once felt that pull, so do they. We do not rise alone. We rise together. This is the true awakening, not the elevation of the self, but the lifting of the whole, the breaking of the illusion that we were ever apart, the realization that we are the collective consciousness awakening to itself. And so the call is clear. Step forward, not as a chosen one, but as a light among many. Walk not as a leader, but as a brother, a sister, a reflection of the same truth in every soul. Help those who seek, not by telling them who they are, but by reminding them to look within and see for themselves. Because this journey was never about me, it was never about you. The death of the ego is not the end, it is the beginning. It is the unraveling of the illusion that you were ever separate, the collapse of the false self that kept you locked in a dream of individuality. And in its place, something vast, something infinite emerges. Oneness, the realization that you were never apart from the whole, never higher, never lower, never chosen above others, but always part of the great unfolding, the great remembering. This is the true path, not of a single chosen one, but of the awakening of all. Because the only way to truly be chosen is to understand that we all are. It was always about us.